Hello, Taurus. Hello to my Tauruses out there. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be your February overview reading. This is a general message, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's see what we have for you, Taurus, for the month of February, please. What can Tauruses, what do we want to tell Tauruses for the month of February, please? Okay. So I'm going to need a little bit more, so let me go ahead and start pulling cards to see what's going to go with that Native American card. I'm right off the bat, what I'm picking up is getting back to your roots somehow, is what I'm picking up. Getting in touch with your roots, getting back to your roots. Back to your roots is what's coming through the strongest. Really feeling like, look at all these threes coming out. Three of Cups, the Three of Wands. Oh, shoot. Yeah, the Queen of Cups that shot across the room, across the floor there. It like went flying. Okay, so we have the Three of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. So this is kind of, this is kind of how we're feeling and thinking throughout the month of February, Taurus. And I feel like, I almost feel like family is really super important. Like I said, as I felt on this Native American card, this need to get, back to your roots. And I feel like communing with family and getting in touch with family, spending more time with family is going to really, I think make you feel better. I don't know what's going, what might be going on, but I feel like there's this need. Now, your cards keep jumping on the floor. I don't know why, but they're jumping on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to tell you this is probably for a lot of Tauruses out there because it's coming through pretty strongly, especially with all these threes, because you even have the triangle, and look at this TP looks like a triangle. Look at that symmetry. Oh, I guess I got to get it in the camera. You have this teepee on here that looks similar to these triangles that came out. And then we have, threes can talk about, especially the Three of Cups, it can talk about, third parties. And so maybe someone has, maybe someone has got you into a third party, maybe someone has, betrayed you in some way where they've gotten you in some kind of love triangle. And, that can be very rough, especially with, February has Valentine's Day. And, maybe you'll find out something about someone, maybe someone you care deeply about. Maybe you feel, you'll find out that, they maybe they're, seeing someone else or something like that. And I hate to be that kind of bearer of bad news if that's the situation. Maybe, you feel that. But I feel like I'm going to keep going, but I really feel like the answer is going to be for you. If that's the case, my heart goes out for you because I know what it feels like to feel like you've been betrayed, for whatever reason. But I really feel this Queen of Cups, what I was getting off of it is this, like, really in your feels. Like you are really, I almost get like, like some, almost like something that somebody, when somebody is, really sad and they're just almost like crying their eyes out, and not that you maybe are, you probably aren't, but inside you could be very sad. You could be, like very, your heart is going out, just like your heart is just, pouring out at this time. You may be sharing your feelings with others, because, and I feel like it's at, because something has happened, there's been, so, something's going to happen where you're going to be pouring your heart out to others and over a situation, and it could be, as I said, it could be with all the triangles and the Three of Cups that, maybe someone's got you in a love triangle, and so maybe you're sharing that, that pain and that hurt, or sharing your feelings, of how how you're feeling to others around you, you know, where you're pouring your heart out. And maybe you're pouring your heart out to the individual that hurt you. But I really feel like, Taurus, what might help you feel better is family. First, I was really picking that up. Getting, you know, being around family, being in touch with your family is possibly going to help you feel better if that's the case. If this is your story and this is resonating with you, yeah. So now you're indecision, you know, yeah, you're undecided on what to do here. When this happens, when this betrayal happens. And I really feel like that it's, you know, even though I know there's no cards out here on the table that talk about betrayal, but because I feel like that it hasn't happened yet, which is why, oops, I put that over here, which is why that it's not coming through as such, because I feel like this is, you know, I just really feel like what it wants to focus the reading on is this outpour of emotions, like where you're going to be be expressing how you feel and undecided about. If you look at the Three of Wands with the Nine of Pentacles here, you know, this is setting your sights on being independent, you know, but you're undecided on kind of which way to go. Because there's feelings here, you know, there's feelings here. And so it's like, do I make up with this person? Because this is all about apologies and making up and coming together. Do I make up with someone? And maybe, you know, roles can be reversed. Maybe you've put somebody else in a third party, you know, maybe, and that caused strife, you know, and maybe that's why the heartbreak isn't here yet, or maybe the pain isn't necessarily shown up. You know, it could be that, you know, maybe you weren't sure whether you wanted to be single or not, you know, whether you wanted to be in a relationship or not. Maybe you came off as single, you know, which is, you know, you have to take this as it resonates, because it can go, you know, roles can be reversed. So whether you're the one that has put someone in the third party or they have put you in the third party, I'm almost reading this as more, I hate to say it, Taurus, that you've probably put someone in a third party situation. And because I don't see from your point of view, or this reading's point of view, I should say, from this, what's coming out here, I don't see the pain that's associated with you being the one where your heart has been broken. I see you as maybe being the one that has maybe put the situation in play. And I don't think that you maybe necessarily did it from a bad place. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it was from a bad place. I think that, you know, that you still wanted to be single, but now it's like you're unsure. You know, I think that your feelings are coming up and you're unsure, Taurus, you know, whether, you know, maybe this was the right thing to do. And I feel like you're almost feeling like you should apologize to somebody, is what I feel like here. Okay, there's the sadness. I think you're missing this person. I think that you have some regrets about what you did here, is what I really am feeling. What's coming through is it's strong here that maybe you have put someone in a third party situation, and maybe it wasn't clear, or maybe you didn't make yourself clear that that you were seeing other people, you know, or whatever the case may be. You know, we all have different things that have, you know, different reasons for doing different things, and not to say that anything that you did was necessarily wrong, but I think it was because maybe, you know, you weren't sure yet that you wanted to take that next step with that person, which is why, you know, I think in your mind you were single, you know, and now you're a little bit unsure, because I think with this happening, I think that you realize that, you know, that you shouldn't, you're kind of waffling a little bit, unsure whether what you did was the, you know, I don't want to say right thing to do. That's not what I want to use here. what I'm getting or picking up on is that you, Taurus, if you are the one that has done this, or you are the one that has had multiple partners, I think that there just wasn't clear communication on what your intentions were, and I think you were unsure what your intentions were, which is why you couldn't clarify it. Why I feel like you were unsure of your real feelings, which is why they weren't communicated. And I think because of that, it led to a situation where, maybe you hurt someone else and you feel like you owe them an apology, because now it's kind of like hindsight's 2020. You realize that your actions may have caused some pain here because you didn't communicate properly what it was that you wanted. And I think it's because you were a little bit unclear of what you wanted. And in the process, you have, now you're taking the time to examine your feelings. And I think that, as we kind of said at the beginning, I think that you're going to be talking to other people and sharing your feelings with other people about what happened with this situation, so that because I almost feel like you'll be seeking a little bit of advice to try and get more in touch with your feelings and what it is that you really want and what you want to do, like how much you want to give, or whether you should apologize or not, and how much you want to give to this situation. I think you're sorting through all that in your mind, Taurus. I think that's, what you're doing. And I really see that very clearly, that you're sorting through that in your mind of what do you really want? And especially when it comes to whatever this situation was, and the person that you feel like you owe an apology to, that maybe you put into a third party situation. But I feel like that, as I said, I don't get the impression that you did it intentionally. I think that you just didn't communicate what it was you wanted because you were unclear on what it was you wanted and how much you wanted to give to this. But I really feel like that on the backside of this, you do feel like you've done something wrong because you feel the need to apologize for it. But I think that you're trying to get straight in your mind what it is that you did wrong. And I don't think that it was necessarily wrong. I think that you just weren't clear on communicating what it was that you wanted and needed or wanted out of this relationship or situation. And because you weren't clear about it, it caused some hurt feelings. And so in your mind, you feel like you need to, there's part of you that feels like you need to resolve the situation or fix the situation a little bit. But I don't know that you're going to do that in the month of February. I feel like with this Four of Swords coming out here, that you're going to be, this is something you're going to be thinking over and taking the time to really, I don't feel you're going to communicate with that person, even though you feel like there's an apology owed, that you owe this person an apology because you've hurt them in some way. I don't see you doing that with this Four of Swords being here. I feel like that you're going to take the time to really look at the situation and what happened and what you could have done better, and figure out what it is you want before you decide whether or not to give this apology. I think that, and I don't know that you're going, it can go both ways. It really depends on what comes out of, like when you go into this place of healing, when you start taking the time to look at this situation, which I think you'll be doing. I think that's what's, whatever conclusion you come to, of what you want, because you're still undecided on what you want. When you figure out what you want, will determine your action. And I think that's what, this is telling me, that you're not going to take action until you figure out what it is you want to do, that clearing up that indecision that's coming out with the Two of Swords, and figuring out, and then you'll figure out what you want to do in the situation, whether you want to give to it or not. But it's going to come after a time of reflection is what I get. Okay, so we have, to wrap this up, we have the Strength card, the Knight of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. So yeah, I feel like, you're, probably in the month of February, Taurus, you're probably not going to be the most social person, because I feel like you're going to be dealing with this. You're going to be, you're going to be deep in thought, contemplating over this, and probably if you are talking to other people, it's to sort this out and sort your feelings out. Which, I think that it really is going to be, I think you're going to be a little bit, kind of in and out, on and off, because I feel like you're really, I feel like that you're going to be on guard, like, even though this isn't, the Seven of Wands usually talks about being on guard, I really feel like this wall, this defensiveness that is going to be around you during February, you're not going to be really letting anyone in, because you're going to be figuring this out for yourself, is what I feel like, really figuring out what, how to move forward in a way that you can communicate your needs properly. And if you can't figure that out, then you're probably, you're probably going to keep people a little bit at arm's length, a little bit, is what I get. So that's what I have for you for the month of February, for your February outlook. I know that some of this is probably not what you maybe wanted to hear, but if it did resonate with you, you can let me know that it did by either leaving a comment or hitting that like button. Just if you want to support my channel in general because you like my readings, you can hit that like button as well. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel if you want to be aware of the readings that I do, because I actually do a few different readings each and every week, and I'd love to have you. So thank you so much for joining me this month for your February overview, Taurus. I wish you the very best. Joy, love, and light.